In update 50, Ninja Kiwi chose to nerf the effect of the favorite trade's boat, but make the effect stackable with up to 3 boats. Another farming related change was that the overclock and ultraboost now gets you a smaller effect when used on villages, and in this video we're gonna dig into these changes to see how this will impact farming. Let's start with the favorite trades. Prior to this update, selling a tower in the range of a boat gave you an extra 10% sellback value, and now they only give 4%. But they can be stacked up to 3 times for a total of 12%, so more than the original. This change was probably overlooked by a lot of casual players. Some might even have misinterpreted this as a buff or at least a neutral change, but in reality this is a nerf that will have a fairly big impact on the farming throughout your entire game. Here's the basics of sellback value. Let's say you buy a spike factory for $1,000, the amount you get back for selling that tower will be $700 without any monkey knowledge. So the standard sellback value is 70%. If you have the monkey knowledge better sell deals, this will increase by 5% for a total of 75% of the cash you spent on the tower. Favorite trades works the same way. Each stack adds 4% of the original cash spent on the tower you're selling. So if the sellback value of the spike is $700, it will increase by $40 for each favorite trades. So you're increasing the sellback value of the original total cash spent on the tower by 4%, not increasing the current sell value by 4%. But how big is this change really? Why is it a nerf, and does it mean we should get more than one favorite trades? Let's start where you first usually use a favorite trade's boat, at round 40 before selling your defense to defend the first boss tier. Usually the standard early game farming setup looks like this on an easy map to farm on. A triple discounted Opolis to which you sacrificed an IMF, 5 marketplaces, a bloon trap, rubber to gold, glue gunner, Benjamin, and finally you add the favorite trades while trying to have as many of your towers in its range as possible. I looked back at my boss tutorial where at the end of the video I explained this very strategy on this very map, and then I ended up with $70,800 by round 40 after selling everything. Note that you can get more than this, but this example was also for without getting penalty in ranked mode. Then I fired up a new game and attempted to recreate the same strat exactly as in my video to see what cash I would end up with in the new update using different amounts of boats. First I tried without any boats at all, and that gave me $65,025. Then I reverted one round, and this time I placed one boat that I upgraded to tier 4 before round 39 ended. That gave me more cash than before, $66,676, which is an increase of $1,651 or 2.5%. Now that seems a bit low. Why is that? Well, the bonus sellback does actually apply to the boat itself, so that's nice, but it's still sold at a loss of $1,733, assuming you have monkey knowledge turned on and you placed it inside of the discount range. But since we placed the boat on round 39, we also get the income from the boat for one round. That's $624 with monkey knowledge and the village income buff. But that still means that it cost us $1,109 in order to get the boat for the extra sellback value on our other towers. So that explains the small benefit of getting just one boat. Next I tested getting 2 boats, so on round 39 I got 1 favorite trades and 1 merchantman before the round ends, and then I sell the cheapest stuff I have until I can afford the upgrade on the merchantman to tier 4 and then sell the rest. This resulted in $67,896, which is an extra $1,220 over having just one boat, so getting 2 boats definitely seems to be worth it. Finally, I did the same thing, getting 2 boats on round 39, selling the minimum needed to upgrade the second boat to tier 4 and then adding the third boat. This resulted in $68,077, which is only an extra $181 over having 2 boats. So here we can see the value really dying off hard. This is because the third boat was added after round 39 had finished, so there is no income from the boat to offset the cash lost on buying buying and selling the tower, and on top of that we needed to sell a few towers before affording it, so it wasn't able to give the extra sellback to as many towers as the previous ones. But as Yandolf was kind enough to point out, the sellback value maxes out at 95%, so for marketplaces in particular that gain 10% extra sellback value with the banana salvage upgrade, the sellback value maxes out after 2 boats, assuming you have monkey knowledge enabled. With this knowledge, we can sell some farms towards the end of the round as they're done giving cash, and then get all the boats upgraded before the round ends, and this way we can get more boat income and sell back on more towers, and this time we ended up with $69,302. So as we can see, getting more favor trades does seem to be worth it, although it has to be done with some quick selling in order to make the most of it. But not every map will be this easy to farm on, and with some maps, having all of your towers in range of all the boats is gonna be more difficult or maybe even impossible, so there are probably maps where just going for 2 boats is gonna be better than 3. So in my best case, I got $69,302 compared to my tutorial video where I got 70,800. That's about a 2% decrease, but keep in mind that the rubber to gold has had some changes since that video, which was in update 45, so it's hard to guess exactly what impact this change had with this comparison that I made. But the exact number doesn't matter. The point is that we can adapt our strategies and keep this number very low. But this change will hurt your early game farming even more if you're playing ranked timed and you need some abilities ready before tier 1, like an overclock for example. Then you need to buy that expensive upgrade on round 39, and that will lead to you affording less boats. Or maybe the towers you have for the first tier is just a few really strong towers, and then once the first tier is done you need to sell one of those towers in order to afford the boat, and then getting a boat for the rest of your towers might not even be worth it. Or what if you only have one strong and expensive tower like the Plasma Monkey fan club? Then you really gotta farm hard to even be able to afford one favor trades alongside that tower when selling it. So while the round 40 cash might only have shrunk slightly, the money you will have left after finishing the first tier will be significantly less. And farming is exponential, so while a couple of percentage points might not sound like the end of the world, that will lead to an even bigger percentage nerf to the money you will make over the course of the entire game. On top of all this, on tier 5 and tier 4 as well, you often use a special Poperations heli to door gunner a favor trades boat to get the extra sellback value on all of your farms all around the map, even where there is no water. This trick is now substantially worse than it was before, going from 10% down to 4%, so that's a lot of money lost. You can get a mermonkey and 2 favor trades at the center of the map and then buff their range with a village, temple, desperado, and that will get you the other 2 stacks on most of the map as well, but of course that's gonna cost you a bit. As I mentioned at the start of the video, we also saw some changes to how the overclock and ultraboost interacts with the village. The extra range that the overclock gives has now been decreased from 25% down to just 10, and the permanent ultraboost stacks now only gives 1.5% instead of 2.5%. This will reduce the amount of farms you sacrifice to your Opolis in the mid to late game. Now you're gonna need a lot more buffs in order to get a full map Opolis, and most notably you have to take the time now to get all of the Ultra Boost stacks and get a TSG to increase its range, so this actually has a big effect on the farming as well. But since we now have Desperado, whose cheap tier 3 ability increases the range of a village by the same 25% that an overclock used to do, and the tier 4 ability increases it even more, this change isn't the end of the world if you compare to pre-Desperado updates. When it comes to Opolis making, it's still a lot easier to make a big one now compared to before Desperado, so this nerf does make a lot of sense in my opinion. Although I am very happy they kept the Engi's interaction with the village's range in the game though, because it's a lot of fun to stack buffs with each other. We all love synergies. But when you combine this nerf with the nerf to the boat, this will result in a quite noticeable real farming nerf, especially in ranked games. It's definitely a lot bigger than it looks in most people's eyes when you first read it. With Desperado being added, I personally think the Engi nerf makes a lot of sense. The boat nerf has been met with a little bit of pushback because of just one favor trades alone being so bad now. There are some suggestions floating around to meet in the middle, allowing just 2 stacks but with a little higher sellback per stack. Overall, I think the idea of sellback stacks can be fun, but yeah, the single favor trades is perhaps a bit weak. I mean, for a lot of beginners now, it's probably not going to be worth getting one at all for tier 1, because you need to have a good amount of farming towers to sell in order for the extra sellback to be worth it. So it's not just gonna hurt advanced ranked players, it's definitely gonna impact more mediocre players as well. But as mentioned, yeah, it really hurts ranked players, like if you need an ability up for tier 1 or you're doing some IMF farming with a map with some water on it for some crazy strats. It actually affects a lot of really cool tier 1 strats quite badly. But with the power creep in the game, I do agree that there has to be nerfs every now and then to keep things at a reasonable level, so overall I am not opposed to these nerfs, but maybe a bit of tweaking with the bows. Anyway, let me know what all of you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.